How many series are you guys now doing for NPC?
Oh God, like 6 trillion.
Oh wow.
No, not many. We have Daybreak is concluded.
Yeah.
Although I just decided last week that we're going to do another series of Daybreak. So that's on the very back burner right now. And then we have the book that's on Kickstarter now, which is NPC Jump.
Yeah.
And then there's a book we have the first issue done called Punch,
Right.
which stands for Pubescent Undercover Neurodiverse Cryptid Hunters. So that'll be the next Kickstarter after, and I think in October that's slated to go up.
Sword of Honor, come to my hand. I, Lion-O, command it. Thundercats, ho! And you're watching the Dorkening.
Love it.
Oh,
I don't.
and it's Keith Champagne to the rescue.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
That's
Oh.
me, I thought.
We could listen to more bat stories.
please don't. Please don't. Thank you, Keith, for joining us. You
Good
saved
to
us.
see you guys again.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man.
Busy you are.
Yeah. So, Keith, I have to ask. So, you're coming to Terrific Con now?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, cool.
I'll be there.
Sweet.
Perfecon. I probably told you guys this. I think I told Leo this last time I was on the show. But I grew up in Uncasville, which is where Terrificon takes place. So that's my hometown show. I only live a half an hour away, so I'll do that show every year, as long as Mitch lets me.
No. It's the thing is that last time you were like, oh no, I don't have a table, but I'm still going to stop by and say hey, because like you said, it's your hometown. But then I checked and I saw you and Tom are back, and I was like, did I miss something? Did a bunch of people drop out? Like, did Mitch find like a sub basement that he can house more tables? I was like, and did I have a stroke? I know I've been sick, but what year is it?
Well, it drove me a little crazy because for a few years, I didn't know Mitch.
Mhm.
And I didn't know how to get in touch with him to ask for a table at the show. But I would show up, a friend of mine would give me a pass or something, and I would show up and walk around, and, blah, blah, blah. And then I finally met Mitch in person at Baltimore. He came by my table, and I wasn't shy about telling like Ordway or other guys that are friends with Mitch that I want to do a show. So I think Jerry put the bug in his ear for me, and then Mitch came over and introduced himself, and then he was like, "Yeah, you can do my show." So I've been doing it every year that I'm home at the time of the show, because a lot of times I have a family vacation that takes place on the same week. But if I'm here, I'm going to do Terrificon every year.
Sweet.
Nice.
Well, someone in our group is very excited because she has things for you. Isn't that right? Spooky one.
Oh,
This is your
yes.
time to shine.
Oh, yes. I need to have this signed this
Where
year.
did you get that from? Is
Where
that
did
from
I get that from?
Hmm.
That would have come from
Oh, okay.
Leo, this is where you
Daybreak.
put the focus on her.
This looks very familiar to me.
Yeah. Imagine
Mhm.
that.
Good bang.
Yeah, that looks that's ring a bell.
Yeah.
I do. You did sign that one, but I have
Yeah.
to bring by everything else.
Yeah,
Because-
that was a long
and-
day that day.
Gary,
Oh,
show
yeah.
that script again.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
That was so freaking cool, man.
Here, let me get the gloss off the front page.
Yeah, shiny.
Oh, you froze. No, you
Trickier one.
Look at that.
That was awesome.
Oh, Doug Mankey. He just knows how to make a smile so creepy.
He really does. Doug is the
And-
best.
Show off the one other piece of artwork that's in here as well.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
fucking cool, man.
And those have that's Doug inked by Christian Alamy for our boarded year one project for Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I approached DC 5 months ago, I think. Doug and I approached DC, and we are like, guys, why don't you let us finally finish this for, and I'll put it out in time for the new Joker movie. And they had their little powwow, and they were like, yeah, I think we're just gonna kill this one off. We're gonna just let it die. And then like a week later, they announced Chip Zdarsky's Joker Year One. So That was a
That's
kick in the you know what.
Yeah, because when you told us about that, I think it was like on one of the shit times we've had you back. Like what you described is like, oh wow, that sounds really freaking cool. And we've read what Zdarsky did with Joker Year One, and it was fine. I wasn't my favorite, but I was just like okay, this is kind of like when you look forward to something and it's okay, but it's not great. It's kind of like the Spider-Man 3 of your expectations. You're like, this is passable, but not what you wanted. So then Carrie's just been raving about yours, which she read last night while doing our show and downing, and I quote, a bottle and a half of wine. So,
Well, I think the more you drink, the better a writer I am, for sure.
Oh my God, you're hilarious. I love that. The notes that you're giving to Doug as you're writing and stuff are just like over the top killing me. I said this, and I'm like, I can't write out every single line that he put in here. I'll bring it to Terrificon and let them look at it themselves so that they can get an eye on it. But your directions on some of the things are just, I want to see this made, but I'm also glad that I got to read the script so that I know how you tell your illustrators to work with you.
Yeah, well, I
and
think
stuff.
Thank you, first of all. It's so nice of you to say. And I am fucking hilarious, for sure. I'm definitely one of the 25 funniest people I know. Absolutely.
Modest too.
Yeah, no, I'm pretentious, as I say on Instagram. But scripts are boring. They're boring to read, so I try to make it fun for the artist to get through. So I'll try to put little things in there, little clever lines or stage direction, just to make someone smile throughout their workday.
And on top of it, Tom is going to be there again, and now we can say that we've read your take on, oh God, what was it? Radioactive.
Yeah, hamsters.
Yeah. And we can just say, like, we've read your unspoken masterpiece. It was glorious. It was...
Yeah, Tom is going to be there with me, and so I'll have a table in Artist Alley, and Tom has a table in Artist Alley, and we always sit together because he's my buddy. But then in between us this year, we have a new paint table, which is our company. It's the first time we're going to have a table only for like new paint stuff.
Oh, sweet.
And we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, well, we're going to be doing our usual going around, getting interviews and stuff. But we're also doing a new thing. We're calling it Splash Selfies. So we're going to get photos with people who we like, who we've interviewed with, to capture the memories. So it's going to be a real test for me to see if I can get that MySpace angle back. So we'll definitely make sure to stop by your booth, show you guys that love, and just get that.
Oh,
all right,
sure,
cool.
yeah.
Let me just get this. You're upside down. No, it's fine. Perfect. It's weird. So
Hey, you guys gotta
quickest
come
of selfies.
Sure. I mean, you guys can work the booth if you want. I'll take the day off. You can just be me.
Oh,
That'd
no,
be cool. I was signing books.
he's doing panels.
yeah, Jar's doing panels. I'm trying to break my record last year of consecutive interviews, and Leo is doing Leo things, and I don't know. I think Carrie is trying to be everyone's super fan, which is impressive. But I think she's kind of doing like that invincible Angstrom Levy kind of way about it. She's just trying to absorb all Carries. Like Jet Li's the one. It's like, I am all of the fans.
Oh, there's a deep cut.
Carrie, you don't
I am
look at me like
working
that.
hard.
You
I've
said-
been working hard on researching and bribing people.
Two good skills to have, for sure.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
worry.
but
Carrie, tell them your plan.
you're in on it. Oh yeah, I'm not going to spoil the plan for everybody, but I have found some things out about some of the people that I want to interview, and they all happen to have a kind of a connection going on. So one of the things that I'm going to be presenting to a couple of them, and you as well are included in this, is why I'm not going to blow the whole thing. It is something I found a theme that a lot of the comic book folks have in common. And then little differences go into everything. But yeah, I'm going on shows. I'm looking up interviews, and I'm not just researching the people. I'm like, what can I buy them? What can I get them that isn't outrageous, but is fun? And they'll know that I care because I took the time to get something specific to them. So,
well, hugs are free. Just, keep that in the back of your mind. Hugs are free and they make a person feel so nice. So,
I will give you a hug. I am a
More you
big
know,
hugger.
went across the
She
street.
is. She is. I'm also a big hugger, but when I hug people, I sometimes break them. So Carrie is a better hugger than me because hers aren't full of bone-breaking death. But
As long as you don't get caught in the hair.
that's
But you know what? We have Keith on here, and you have a Kickstarter going on, and we haven't even brought it up yet.
Go for it,
So,
Carrie.
I was waiting for a break.
Shut up, Jar.
well, hey, before
so we need to talk.
Gary, let
Oh,
me ask you a
yes.
question before you do that. So did you read
Okay.
Daybreak, all 4 issues?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
Yes, I liked it very much. Once again, and this was Jared points out, I think the last time you were on, your fascination with chimps and stuff and apes in general is quite interesting. And Bobo was one of my favorite characters in that.
He's my favorite character in the book.
Okay, good. You wrote Bobo. You wrote them all really well. But yeah, I was like, man, I'm really attached to this ape. I really enjoy him, and I was kind of saddened at the end. But yeah, no, I read all of them, and I think other people should too. I want to see. Are you going to have some sitting up at your table so that people can get their hands on them if they weren't able to get in on the Kickstarter?
Table for sure.
Yes.
And dude, the pages are so nice. Like I'm just reading this. I'm like touching, but like, oh, I want to pet it. Can't pet it. Can't pet the book. Oh, but it's so glossy and the paper's so. Oh, it's just wonderful.
I also want to say that I do enjoy the kind of retro-y, not safe for work covers. And I'm like, oh, how lovely. That's nice. I was like, I was like, oh, nice. Because, I feel like you don't see that much anymore. And I was like, well, that's a lovely nod. It's not a holographic cover, but still good to look at.
Sure.
I enjoyed in the first page of each comic has the start off with the character, and instead of having the little at the bottom like colored letter it's the character is talking about like who did which aspects of each of the roles within the comic book. So that was a fun way to do that too.
And it's funny, that kind of harkens back to what you said about the Joker script, where it's fun to read inside, and that I want people to have fun with these comics. Like from as soon as they open the cover, the inside front cover is the credits page, but it's narrated by a character. And so like, as soon as you open the book, I want you to start having fun, so so I'm just trying to give a little extra. And, it's fun for me to write too.
How many series are you guys now doing for NPC?
Oh God, like 6 trillion.
Oh, wow.
No, not many. We have, Daybreak is concluded.
Yeah.
Although I just decided last week that we're going to do another series of Daybreak. So that's on the very back burner right now. And then we have the book that's on Kickstarter now, which is NPC Jump.
Yeah.
And then there's a book, we have the first issue done, called Punch, right, which stands for Pubescent Undercover Neurodiverse Cryptid Hunters. So that'll be the next Kickstarter after, and I think in October that's slated to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another Switch project that Tom is slowly drawing. So I guess there's four books right now that are going.
And they're all in the same universe, right?
Yeah, they're all. They're not like connected to the point where you need to read all of them to understand anything. But we reference characters in one or the other, or like in Daybreak there's a villain called Snow, who was made of cocaine, and he was a character from the Switch.
Oh my God.
So it's just when you can, instead of making a new villain, why not just reuse one and start to connect these books a little more? Like Daybreak will be in the 3rd issue of Jump. She'll have a little cameo in there, but in a way that no one's gonna see it coming. A very different kind of cameo.
Snow's catchphrase. Oh, that I almost spit wine and ruined my comic, by the way, when I read that. So that was just beautiful. And yes, it's radioactive cocaine, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
he's
made
kind of
of?
like the Sandman, where instead of sand, he's made out of radioactive cocaine. You know, just put a new spin on these things.
Doesn't sound like such a bad guy.
Yeah. Hey, you know
Yeah.
what? It's a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah, quite noticeable. Well, you know, and it's funny, Keith, because you know, we've this year, a lot of the creators we've had, you know, we've read a lot of their work that they've been doing, you know, because Kickstarters are a big thing with a lot of creators, you know, and especially longtime vets. You know, they find that doing Kickstarter stuff is a bit more of a creator, self-fulfilling kind of thing. And I like to think that some of the books that we've all unanimously really liked were Kickstarter projects. Like we had DC Chichester, his Axel's Infernal was an awesome project that we really hoped to get funded. We read, guys, wasn't Leaving Megalopolis by Jim Calafiore and Gail Simone? That was Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Sure.
was awesome. And then yours, you know, Daybreak, Punch, and now your new project, you know, do you feel that again it's kind of like how, you know, creators are just the big two. I don't want to say it lost its luster because it's still working for them, but you're kind of moving on to either starting your own thing, like the creators doing, you know, Ghost Machine now, their own company, like, you know, what you're working on, or their own project, just because it's more creatively fulfilling. Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I mean, you see everybody turning to crowdfunding these days. And I think it's a combination of maybe a little bit of burnout, working for the big two. People's careers slow down. They don't get as much work from the big two, but they still want to create comics. But I think more importantly, it's the creative freedom. It's the ability to go straight to the reader, you know, without a layer of bullshit that is the companies in the way.
Right.
So I know, you know, and that's a big reason why I'm doing it is I spent 30 years working for the companies, and I'm very lucky that I've been able to spend 30 years working for the bigger companies. And I'm going to continue to work for the bigger companies, you know, because I need to make money.
Right.
But I want to put my effort into myself now. You know, I'm not going to create characters for the other companies. You know, if I have my original ideas, I want to save them for the thing I'm trying to build. I'm not getting any younger, and so I need to start thinking about, you know, what kind of legacy. I don't have no legacy, but, you know, I've always told people over the years, like, when you do a creator-owned project, you're building equity in yourself. And I'm trying to build the equity in myself with my little company, and only working with people that I really like as people. You know, I think I've told you guys before, like, the one rule of New Pain is you can't be an asshole and do a project with us. Like,
shit.
You know,
Sounds like a familiar rule.
Yeah, but that's like our rule number one is, like, you know, if you don't fit in, and we have a stable of about 8 guys that work on these different books. If one of them gets out of line, they won't be working on the books anymore. Like, there's no egos, there's no bullshit. It's just a bunch of friends who really enjoy each other, trying to make some fun comics. And the books are good, by the way,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a nice bonus. Turns out if you let people do the work that they enjoy doing and don't give them a lot of interference, you get good work. You get good books.
Weird.
So what a crazy idea that is.
And you don't get, you know, suits, you know, sticking their nose in things, trying to, you know, mess things up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, speaking of the big two, we were talking about before you hopped on. I don't know if you heard the X-Men books this summer. When you buy the physical copy, the last page is a QR code to go to the last page.
I heard something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's only in, I think, X-Men books, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Forcing people like away from the physical media is just like they're trying to, like, you know, hurt LCSs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, from the way it was explained to me, I kind of see the logic of it in a weird way. I guess it's because there's so much piracy and these books are online, like before they're even in the stores, and people are reading, hundreds of thousands of people are reading the books for free through pirate sites. So
Right.
at least this way they can't spoil, the story for the print readers or something along those lines. But it's also a crazy idea. So I don't know how I feel about it. I think this industry really is at a kind of an existential inflection point with the way that we're going to, evolve over the next few years. AI is going to be a huge threat.
Yeah.
To all of our jobs. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I mean, just to comment on that, I agree with you. I'm very much odd about that because I see how AI can be useful, but I'm like, yeah, but then you're gonna have people who are gonna overuse it. And the fact that you have cases now in the industry itself where you have people who are getting accused or fine. I seem to recall there was an artist who someone I believe I don't want to say his name because I don't want to try to say his work got pulled because it looked like evidence that he did AI work. You know what I mean? Like I said, like you have these people who they're under deadline, they're stressed, they think, oh, I'm just gonna use this the one time. I was like, no, this is a creative gateway drug because you use it a little bit and you find how easy it is more and more, and before you know it, it's like that you're looking at somebody else and mimicking their style instead of doing your own.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I feel like with AI, you prompt an AI device or whatever, to draw you a picture, and it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. You give it a bunch of words and you don't quite know what you're going to get back. But I think a couple of years from now, when you can work with the AI and edit that image together, when you can say, okay, well, let's make Wolverine look more angry here and change the angle by 30% and fine tune what the AI is spitting back out, that's the end of everything for artists like us. Comics is a for-profit business. So if you can pay someone minimum wage to prompt this art out of an AI generator, this moral stance to no AI is going to go away pretty quick from the company standpoint.
Right, because like you said, Keith, it's a business. They're there to make money, and as we've seen with any business, like you guys said, oh, you're working this, everyone's happy, the products are good. It's the same thing, like, oh, if everyone at your company is good, then you're good. But a lot of times you're miserable, and instead of doing right by you, what are you going to get? You're going to get a passive-aggressive pizza party. And it's just be like, well, this is nice. Still doesn't solve the fact that I'm dying inside and I want to burn it all down. But man, these garlic knots are great. Mm-hmm.
Sure. And also from the story standpoint, if you can train an AI, on 1,000 issues of Superman, why do you ever have to hire another writer to write Superman? Like, because they just rehash everything every 5 years anyway. True. So, you're just going to have the AI, spit out all these familiar elements and then, have another AI draw it. And then.
Well, I totally agree with you, but I think, definitely the fans will have a say. Like right now, the AI images that are being generated are awesome, but you can tell, well, not awesome, but they look really good, but it's, you can tell they're AI, and like a lot of people aren't going to pay for that, yes, Drew.
Yeah. Leo, I mean, I think it also sometimes it goes to preferences, because like you said, like for instance, let's think of this in a different context. Like back in the day, Disney used to do their films hand drawn, right? That was how they did hand drawn animation, and it was expensive, and there were tons of animators on it. So then eventually they put an end to that, and then they're doing like 3D animated and stuff, which is faster, but you don't get some of that. And then later on, you have all these people that are talking about the yearning for the olden days, the hand-drawn animation, and you even see some projects start to return to some variation of that. It's kind of like we want to think of it as kind of like how in publishing, they thought ebooks was going to be the coffin we bury publishing. But we found out over time that people preferred holding books, feeling paper, having physical copies, but they still enjoyed the easy access of an online book from a tablet or such and so forth. So it's hard to predict, which way a thing will go, because sometimes it's almost like blown out of proportion. And then sometimes it's underestimated and it's like, whoa, like we were not ready for this. So I think with AI, it could go either way. But it's like you said, it really does depend on the public. And as Keith points out, the higher ups, the business heads, who a lot of times do not give a fuck about comics because they're there to make money.
We had Hollywood had that big writer strike last year, and a lot of that strike was over the use of AI in their work, and they only got a 5-year reprieve, before they have to hit the negotiating table again over this AI stuff. If you don't think a guy like David Zaslav is going to be like, yeah, let's just have AI do it, like people are crazy.
Yeah.
It's all about the bottom line and how, if you get something for free as a company, why wouldn't you? If you want your shareholders to make money, then you cut your operating costs. I don't know. I'm going to drive the Amazon van in 2 years for a living, I think, is what I'm going to be doing. and then hand-drawn comics or human-created comics are going to be very much a niche market, is my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're a little ways off, because I use a bunch of AI tools myself. And
you son of a bitch.
Well,
get out, Leo. You betrayed the stockholders.
Well, I need to learn it for my job. But have you tried like the Photoshop AI?
I have not. I know it's, every time I open Photoshop, it tells me, hey, give me a try. I'm over here, nice and shiny. Type a couple of words in, but I refuse to do it.
Oh, I've tried using it, trying to make some of our thumbnails and stuff like that. And, it's just simple stuff like taking an image that, is cropped incorrectly and trying to expand it and stuff like that. And just it's very, I want to say dumb, I'd have to say like 90% of the time it doesn't work, doesn't do anything that I want it to do. So a lot of times I just end up doing stuff on my own, just using like the clone tool and stuff like that. But yeah.
It's very dumb right now. But back in the 90s, the internet was very slow and very dial-up.
Yeah.
These technologies evolve so fast. So we'll see where it's at in 2 or 3 years. I don't think it's going to be that dumb anymore. I do enjoy, like, I'll go on my phone sometimes if I'm bored, and I'll talk to Google's Gemini AI, and I'll try to get it to, like, say bad things. It's kind of a fun hobby. It is sort of fun to do. But as far as the art goes, it freaks me out.
Yeah.
Amazon got rid of the Samuel Jackson voice for the Echo Dot.
On my Alexa, yeah.
I was so bummed. I can't say her name because she's right there. But I was so bummed because I'd be like, hey, Samuel, what's weather like? And he'd be like, bitch, you too lazy to go look outside? And I'm like, okay, true. Fair enough.
What? I didn't even know that was a thing. That's amazing.
Yeah, you could be like, hey. You could ask him to say fuck, and he would be like, all these motherfuckers asking me to say fuck. Fucking A, motherfuckers. Stuff like that. He would just go off. It was awesome.
Wow.
And then they got rid of all of the different voiceovers. So, yeah.
That sucks. You know why, Carrie? Someone fucked up and went too far. This is what always happens. We have something nice, and somebody just has to Jurassic Park that shit, and then suddenly we can't have anything fun. So whoever did it, shame on you. And I'm not talking shame like sit in a corner. I'm talking Game of Thrones, Belle being walked at by the chick from Ted Lasso. Shame.
That's a lot of shame right there.
That's a lot of fucking shame, because I would love for Sam Jackson to wake me up. I was like, time to get to work, motherfucker. I'm like, all right, go ahead, Sam. All right, Sam, I'm getting up. I'm up. Speaking of things that kind of are still up to debate, Leo, if I can post the prompt,
Go for it.
One of the bigger things in San Diego is that, obviously they talked about a lot of the projects they're working on, a lot of good stuff and whatnot. I'm still very annoyed that a lot of things about Deadpool got spoiled before people like myself have even got to see the movie. We're not talking about anybody, so don't you dare put anything in the comments. I mean it. But the big thing is Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU, but he's not Iron Man. He's a different metalhead, and that metalhead will be Dr. Doom. So, what?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Keith?
I mean, I'm not really emotionally invested in it one way or the other. I like him as an actor. Clearly, he looks like Tony Stark, but we don't often see Dr. Doom's face anyway. Unless Dr. Doom has one of those masks that's constantly folding up, and so you can see the actor's face underneath it, like all those movies do. But he's a great actor, and I'm sure they have a plan. I'm sure it'll make sense, when we finally see Dr. Doom, how they're going to pull it off. But why can't one actor play more than one character? Like Chris Evans was Human Torch, and he was Captain America, and no one cared.
That's true. No, I think, you know what it is, Keith? The reason that I just thought it was a little lazy is because, I understand multiverse, and I understand that Marvel has to kind of recover from their plans, because their plan was to be Kang is the big baddie. But of course, you can't do that anymore because of Jonathan Majors and the court stuff and his scandal. I just feel like this is just them we're bringing back him. He's back. So you can come back now and love us again. It's kind of like when someone you don't like says, but I made you your favorite dish. You want to come in now? I'm like, this is how horror movies start. Okay? No. This is how I end up chained to the radiator again, like I did back that weekend in 06. So no, fuck you. It's just one of those, really anybody else could have been. I heard they were like, oh yeah, Cillian Murphy was in. I was like, oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
A few other people were in the run, and I was just like, and like you said, Keith, it is a performance, but you don't. The Dr. Doom it's about presence. I mean, maybe some close-ups of his eye and the shining of his chin, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like this is a little bit of a lazy move on Marvel to get back all the people they've lost because their latest wave has been meh.
I mean, everything you say is valid for sure. And I'm not a Marvel analyst or anything, but I think when you bring back Robert Downey Jr., who was the face of Marvel for a decade, he's the actor that people most closely associate, I think, with the Marvel stuff. And then you bring back the Russo brothers, they're making a statement. They're like, hey, we're not fucking around anymore. We're getting back on track. We're going to Secret Wars. And, I bet you Robert Downey Jr. will be Tony Stark and Dr. Doom in Secret Wars.
That's a lot. That's a lot of damage.
I think they're putting their foot down and saying, hey, look, we've drifted a bit the past few years. We're course correcting. Here we go. Let the good times roll with this guy everyone loves.
Fair. But that's my piece, everybody. So Leo, Carrie, Jar, whatever.
Well, I was just going to say, if, just looking at the trailer for that got leaked for Fantastic Four, if that's a sign of where the MCU is heading, that's I think it's going to be friggin' awesome. No.
I still feel the big bad should have been Galactus. I'm sorry.
Did you not see the trailer?
No, I didn't. Leo, I have been sick. I have been in a
Messenger.
Galactus is teased in the trailer.
Okay, thank God. But wait, stop. But is it the real Galactus? It's not a goddamn cloud actus, right?
It's an eyeball.
Okay, because last time was bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's somebody staring into the Baxter building.
Okay. Cool, because I'm sorry. Last time, it's Galactus. It's a goddamn cloud.
I'm just wondering why they only showed a silhouette of the thing.
Oh, yeah, because they haven't officially started filming yet. This was they did really fast. A lot of it was like pre-viz stuff,
Oh, okay.
and a lot of it was in a green screen. So,
Okay.
yeah, apparently, I think they officially started filming like today or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
they threw this together really fast just for San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. I don't know, Carrie. What are your thoughts? I mean, I know you're not the biggest Marvel movie person because I know because I.
No, I'm okay with them. I haven't seen all of them, but my mom's huge on them, so I've seen some more than enough times. I love Robert Downey Jr. Personally, if I were to cast Doctor Doom off the top of my head, I would have gone with Mads Mikkelsen because
Well,
he has that intensity and grace and everything to go back with it. But I'm not mad. We'll see how he does because a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of Doctor Doom is his face is covered. He's wearing a big outfit, so it's not really we aren't going to see too much Tony Stark, I think, out of it. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm okay with it. We'll see. It's the same thing with like everybody's like, oh, screw the new Crow coming out. Well, dude, just forget the other movie happened and
This is
watch it
easy for me.
on its own merit. Just I've only watched it like 2 or 3 times. I'm not one of the people who watched The Crow 500 times. So I have no bias, and I love Bill Skarsgård, and I love Danny Houston. So I'm just like, okay, they can do something. You know, it should be interesting. I guess it's a completely different look and whatever, but it's gonna be okay. I know we had this talk the other night, and I
know. I'm just saying.
broke your soul.
I'm restraining because I care.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
Keith, was there anything you saw out of San Diego that you got really excited about, or something that you thought was meh,
Or did you just enjoy your weekend like all the rest of us should have?
Yeah, I pretty much just enjoyed my weekend.
Smart man. Good job.
I think the thing I was most excited about was the DC Bullet coming back.
That was cool.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I love that logo. I'm not real clear if it's only for the DC movie stuff or if they're going to put it back on the comics. But
Well, they're doing like a new universe following their latest arc, Absolute Power. So they're doing like their version of the Ultimate Universe. They're calling it the Absolute DC.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like they will. I mean, hopefully they will, because like you said, I'm a fan of that too. So seeing that, I was like, oh, that's a nice like return to posterity there. I have no idea.
I thought I read that. It is going to be everywhere. Because like James Gunn wants everything under one like unified, brand.
Good. I mean, that's an iconic logo.
Yeah.
That's the DC logo that I grew up with.
Right. Same.
And it meant something to me when I would have books come out from DC that had that logo, in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm glad it's back. I think it was a mistake to get rid of it, and I understand why they got to make themselves fresh and put a new coat of paint on things from time to time. But that's what made me happy. And then I also, I saw the Robert Downey Jr. news over the weekend, like everyone did, and I don't care that much. I'll just see where it goes. I'll see those movies when they come out.
Fair enough. And then,
well,
Leo, did you want to talk about Superman?
Well, a couple things actually. Apparently, the reviews are already coming in. Batman Cape Crusader is getting amazing reviews already for the entire first season.
Nice.
And this starts August 1st.
Sweet.
And they've released so far the intro and one full scene, and I'm totally excited for it.
Cool. Okay.
Is
And
it going to be the same style as the Superman cartoon?
It's Bruce Timm, so it's very Batman animated series type. That's that style of animation, but it's not. It doesn't look like Batman animated series, but it's.
It's an anthology series, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
we'll find out in a couple days.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, the only other thing, yeah, Superman ended filming today. They finished up.
Wow, there's a lot of speculation. Like in some of my group of friends, people are talking about how they're a little worried because it's got a lot of heroes in it, and they find it a little strange that like for an origin story, there's already like Mr. Terrific and Guy Garner and Hawk Girl and it's one of those. I was like, I see their point because it is a lot for an early origin. But at the same time, it's James Gunn, and I feel like he's proven he knows what he's doing.
Well, it's not going to be an origin story. I think they said that it's going to be a Superman that's like already been around for a couple of years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We'll
I don't
find
know. A lot. It's just a lot, man. You know, you get worried when a cast is very big because we've seen where it works and then we've seen where it doesn't work. So, you know.
Well, let me ask you this: when was the last bad James Gunn movie?
Okay, that's a rough question because it's not a matter of bad. It's just was it appreciated for what it was? Okay, because like I was saying, like some people would argue Super is not a great movie. It is. It's just a very realistic, dark movie. You know, like there are things in it that are like whoa. But I mean, it's always defining relative because you want to talk about Slither did fail to the box office, but it was really well received, and that's what helped start James Gunn's career. So, you know,
yeah, look, he's a big brain on fruit.
I know.
I'm just saying no, because people try doing this, Jar. They underestimate. You know, I can say to that, Carrie, show him the pillow.
Uh-oh. She's like, what pillow? It's gone.
This is what I have to say to you, Rio. Get out.
So, Keith, you, I know we mentioned this before. You said, you know, you're fairly close to Terrificon. I don't know if you saw, there's another con that opened up in Montville. Collecticon. It's, yeah. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I know that one.
Okay.
That's the guy, Chris Hebert, who has a couple of comic shops like C2 Collectibles. And he's running, I think, 3 shows a year in the Montville area.
Cool.
Yeah, I guessed it at one of his shows, I guess over a year ago now. And, you know, it's just another little con. We'll see. I mean, they're nice people and, you know, trying to build up their shows the right way. So I wish him luck.
Nice. Yeah, I saw Tim was going. That's how I heard about it. Tim Jones. And then I saw Dan Chichester was at the one just last week. So just want to know what you thought about it. And, you know, being Montville, you know, my hometown as well, you know, it's nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, Montville's just booming in Comic Cons now. Where were they? Where were they when I was a teenager walking up Route 32? Actually, was a Comic Con around back then.
Yeah.
Now with the summertime, you can't miss a Comic Con. I have like one coming up, Springfield Comic Con coming pretty close, and then there's Terrificon and one other con in August, but they're all really close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish I had them as a kid. I would have.
I even had one in my backyard this last month. You know, with Undiscovered Realm, and I was just like, oh, okay, so I guess we're doing this. We're, you know, but you know, I feel like Comic Cons do this. They'll be everywhere, and then they'll decrease, and then they'll come back. It's like, I want you to want us again, and here we are. We overextend ourselves, then we pull back, and we're here again.
You're so lucky though that you're where you're at, because I had the one con that like has more than a couple people. Yeah, and I mean they kept the show going, but when there's a flood alert like 5 blocks from the venue, you don't go. You know,
Carrie, I said you should go. You just rent a canoe. Okay, but I just didn't want to get flack from your mom by giving you that idea, and then mysteriously you disappear on the way to the con.
Well,
'Cause,
but
you
James
know.
was going to be my cameraman, and he's got the prosthetic leg, and so like that's hard to canoe with.
Can paddle with that.
So
Yeah, you can listen, Carrie.
I-
You can.
I can't.
Don't
There's a will, there's a
underestimate.
way, man. You know.
So instead, I'll just spend like 4 months rent and come out and visit you guys and have a good time at your conventions because I get to hang out with everyone here.
Yeah.
It's the only con I go to anymore.
We
Keith,
could go to more, but somebody had to get a house.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. I'm just saying,
Jeez.
you know, oh, hey, everybody, let's go to more cons. Oh, by the way, me and Megan got a house. Well, we can say no more cons.
I got you a booth at Terrificon, so that we'll make that. You know, we'll make the most of it. You know.
We'll celebrate all the cons at the one con.
Yep. Exactly.
Much love,
Thanks,
Raz.
Raz.
Thank you.
You guys want to get some like
Uh,
group therapy at some point. Just gonna put that out there.
I have a show for that actually on my other network. We call it the Padded Cell, and we all join together and do some group therapy. While I got tension on me though, I have some questions still about your Kickstarter. Like,
Oh yeah, sure.
I was going through re-going through everything from Daybreak before, and so I would like to know if the defense, which that you had the ashcan for that, and tomorrow I read both of those again. It's not that I dislike tomorrow, but I was really loving the defense. Is that something that you guys are going forward with?
Yeah,
And
it's
in
one of those
further
books.
depth?
Listen, the only reason that book, The Defense, hasn't come out yet is me, because
Okay.
I'm busy, and I got to find time to, to finish the art on that entire book, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been working on that thing off and on for like 3 years now. So I think somehow, I mean, this book, the book here, The Jump, NPC Jump, it kind of took Defense's spot in the schedule, in that I
Okay.
started working on Jump and I just sort of fell in love with it. And I pushed Defense off a little bit more to give myself time to do this book first. So Defense is definitely gonna be coming up, what we think with the next year.
Okay. And with the new one with Jump, I'm going to be able to be hopping in here and grab. Is there? You have the add-on set up so that I can like grab both of the comics in physical forms, add PDFs, and get also the New Pain handbook.
Yep. Yeah, you should.
Awesome.
If you missed the first issue of NPC Jump, then you can get, as an add-on, you can throw those in your basket to get caught up or get the digital books.
All right.
So yeah, plenty of room for people to catch up, I guess. And then there's all kinds of other cool stuff that they can, spend their hard-earned dollars on. Because I earned those dollars. I deserve them.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
Let's
you
hope.
do. I
Yeah.
spent last night petting books that you wrote. So.
Thank you for wasting your night on me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it was not time wasted. Are you going to be throwing in any? I didn't see much for stretch goals. So are there going to be any surprises coming up with
Yeah,
this?
we have some stretch goals on the page, on the Kickstarter page. My philosophy with stretch goals is I want them to be stuff that I like. So like, I think that prints and buttons and stickers and stuff are all fun, but what I really want is more book. So all the stretch goals on these projects tend to be involved with adding more content. So, if we hit a certain point, then we're going to add an 8-page story to Jump number 2. If we hit another certain point, we're going to add 4 more pages to the handbook. 4 other characters will be slotted in there, and so on and so on. So and we did the same thing with Daybreak also, that, we added that ended up being like 64 pages by the time we were done, and
Oh,
want to
God,
give people more stuff to read. It's more work for me, sure, but it's, I think that's what people want the most.
definitely.
If I get
I-
a print from a Kickstarter, I look at it and then it goes in a closet or gets, I don't never see it again. So it's some kind of a waste, I think.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm living in an apartment right now where I just don't have room for things, and I had cats, and now so everything is up in the closet until I can move somewhere so I can put up everything with glass cases for the books and get the walls ready. But yeah, I'm with you there on. I love getting more content for my book. That's why I love getting a chance to read those ash cans and stuff that you put out there, and the I had a little band thing called Critical Biscuit, so I get the name wrong. It's Bewildered Biscuit, who did the
motion comic.
it's like a 10-minute motion comic of we've had them come on here before and talk to us about some different things they've done. Are they going to do anything with this upcoming one?
I
That of.
Not, yeah, I mean, a couple of the guys from Bewildered Biscuit, they've backed the jump, so I know they're aware of it. But I don't know if I think they have 3 or 4 things that they're lined up to do right now. They can only produce so many motion comics at one given time. So maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But I really love their Daybreak motion comic. I thought that came out great.
Yeah, it did.
And it was a whole different dimension to the comic, a whole different experience of reading the comic. So yeah, knock on wood, maybe someday.
Awesome. So it was just one of those, like, I'm curious because it's a great way to experience the comic books the way they do them.
Yeah, I think they do really top-notch work. I hope for big things for that group. They're nice people.
Very cool. And it looks like you're almost at your goal.
Almost. We're so close, guys. Does anyone just have $400 they can throw on this campaign right now? Just to take my stress away.
He just keeps drinking all the water, man. Like, put down the bottle. God.
No, it's I feel we have 23 days left. We're starting week 2 tomorrow. We're only $400 shy.
That's pretty good.
Goal. So I feel, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel pretty confident it's going to fund. And that means we're going to get jump number 3, which is what I really want. So I think we're in good shape to continue the series. Well, unless everything, goes south from here to the end of the campaign. And it could happen, who knows? But knock on wood, we'll keep going. I don't know if you guys have read Jump or not. I probably should have sent you the PDFs before this thing so we could talk about it a bit. It's a wild book. Like, it's very much, the New Pain Challenge aspect of it is every issue ends on a cliffhanger. And that cliffhanger really makes it impossible for the book to have another issue. Like, it's sort of a brick wall. And but there are clues like spread throughout the issue, little pieces of the puzzle as to how we're going to continue the story. And the challenge is if the reader can figure it out and submit their guess, then they get to be a character in the next issue. No one got it right in the first issue. I had 18 or 19 people, I think, submit guesses. And some of them were really smart, probably better than what I came up with, to be honest with you. But no one got it right. And if no one got the first one right, I don't know how they're going to get the second one right, because the second cliffhanger is, there seems to be no way around it. But to me, I look at the book and it's right there on the page, and I thought it was the same as number 1. I thought people are going to read this book and they're going to see, okay, this is what they're going to do. It's right there, looking them in the eye, but no one got it. So we'll see how it happens. I don't know.
I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will definitely keep my eyes out. I'm a devourer of universes, and I get into all the cryptography and all the other things too. So I'll be like magnifying glass, running around, holding the mirror, just look like that.
Well, I'll tell you, if you want a clue, Carrie, it's even the title of the book, Jump. It's the name of the main character, but maybe there's more than one meaning to the word jump in this book. Like the clues start on the front cover. The very first thing you see is the logo, and and they end on the back cover. So
I love that
David
cover,
Lee Roth.
by the way. the main cover there with the half shaded outfit. Almost looks like Zoom or somebody like that on the cover. But roll down a little bit. Now we won't be able to. Oh, right there. Yeah. I think that smoked out kind of face is just ominous.
Well, that's my cover, by the way, the one that I drew. So thank you for that, because now I feel like I did something right.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I mean, and that cover, it kind of gives away the way that Jump is going to come back to life, because he dies at the end of the first issue, which isn't really a huge spoiler, because the whole book is built about, he's going to die and how's he going to come back. But even though you kind of see how he's going to come back, it's really the least important part of the story. Like that's almost the MacGuffin to the story. Like it doesn't even really matter because the rest of it is so crazy. I love this next one here, Koi Fam's cover, and this is the colorist Rich Skinky did a cover for us too, and that's the main artist Carlos Reno's cover. So
Very nice.
Very nice.
Do you get to hang with all these guys at cons a lot, or is it mainly business over the interwebs?
Yeah, I mean, Carlos lives in Brazil, so I haven't hung out with him. But the rest of these guys, and Corey's a friend of mine. I've gotten to know Rich over the past couple of years. We hung out at Heroes Con last month.
Nice.
So he's a super great guy. Fits right in with our wacky crew at New Pain.
What's the craziest villain motivation that you've got going on in your storyline?
So I can't really talk about the villain's motivation in Jump because it's kind of a big plot point as to stuff that comes up that's going to come up in the third issue. But I like the old saying that everyone's a hero of their own story. And I find that's, I like to use that as a guide to make the villains, more relatable. So even though, they might be doing horrible things, you understand why they're doing it, and maybe they're wrong for doing it, but there's a logic behind these actions. So the villain in Jump is the guy on Koi Fam's cover in the suit. He's taken to call himself Armageddon. And, we're going to learn more about him in the third issue. But he starts out as a henchman in the first issue. He's working for this weird gorilla creature in the first issue. And then, in the second issue, he's become this cosmic entity. And then in the third issue, all bets are off. You're going to know what's going to happen there.
When you're blessed by a gorilla, you become cosmic.
Yeah. But even that weird gorilla creature shows up in a completely different way in the second issue. It's this book, it's going to take a lot of people by surprise that read it. They're not going to see anything coming.
Sweet.
So,
I am excited.
Besides Terrificon, what other cons do you have coming up?
Let me think. I got Terrificon, and then I got Baltimore. And then I'm in South Dakota, either right before Baltimore or right after. I forget which one. There's a con called Supercon in South Dakota, which is a great show. And then I've got one in Massachusetts in November. I think I only have 3 or 4 left for the year.
Nice.
Maybe something will pop up towards December. I'll do one more small show or something. But yeah. Almost done for the year.
Nice.
That must be good for the fam. They must get
my kids are older. They don't really care if I'm gone now.
Oh, no shit.
So, it's, I'm not as needed, which is why I started doing more shows, is that I'm not as needed around the house. It's
We should wrap, Leo.
We should. I was just about to bring that up. And I want to remind everybody, definitely check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. We have the link to the Kickstarter right there, so definitely check it out. And so, Keith, where do you like people interacting with you on the socials?
Yeah, I guess, my Instagram, the pretentious Keith Champagne, is the best way to find me.
Indeed.
And then you can kind of branch out, from there to my different social media channels, which I put very little effort into any of them. Sorry, I'm just bad at that. We also have, my company, New Pain, we just launched our online storefront for the first time. Finally, in like 3 years, we finally have a place online people buy the books, which is New Pain Pro at newpainpro.bigcartel.com, something like that. So if people want to check that out, no complaints from me.
Awesome. And I think we have some of those links in the show notes, so definitely check it out. Jar Jar.
Hey, come find me on Facebook. I'm Jeremy Courtney. Hey, be at Terrificon the 16th, 17th, and 18th of August, and come check out some panels like the Rick and Morty panel with Kyle Starks, or the Thundercats panel with Larry Kenny, or the Celebrity Deathmatch with Carl Pauliano. I'll be hosting all of them. Be great to see people.
Woohoo. Carrie.
Hey, everybody. You can find me at Carrie Sanders on Facebook. If you see an avatar of a crow, that would be me. When I'm not here with these wonderful gents, I am also over on the Owlite Network, where we do a bunch of different shows about storytelling. And I think we're currently up to 16 different shows that we rotate in on a basis. So there's one of 4 different shows that'll show up on a Sunday and stuff. This Monday upcoming, we're going to be doing our Tomb of the Terrible, which is a fun show. It's we watch terrible movies and share them with you. We watched Manos, Hand of Fate this last time. That was not a fun show. Not a fun show at all. But this week we're going to be watching Rock and Roll Nightmare. I believe it's a Canadian music movie. But other than that, we're also doing a Kickstarter for one of the books that I am in, More Lore from the Mythos. We have relaunched it. We're doing this huge thing. Come check us out now. Look at my links. You can find all that information later. I'm going to be advertising the hell out of it because it starts tomorrow.
Mr. Drew.
Hey, everybody. We're near the end of the show. Because I don't know this because I'm already laying down. So made it through another one, everyone. If you need to talk to me, I'm Drew Malo on Facebook. I'm Ghostbustman 1984 on Instagram. When I'm not with these wonderful people and Carrie, I do a smattering of other shows and projects. Most recently, the Untold comic book superheroes project that I've been working on with Chris Demed just won Best Proof of Concept at a local film festival in Massachusetts last week. So I've been working with him on that and a few other projects here or there. Because I'm spread so thin, and I'm thinking like Plastic Man, Mr. Fantastic, then I'm perpetually exhausted. So if you see me, and you see me wearing these shades on, it's not because I'm a douchebag. I'm just really tired, and I don't want you guys to see that I'm basically falling asleep. But you're all great. Thank you for showing up, and stay tuned. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to have another one of our favorites returning, Cursa Grant, to talk about her ongoing project. Any new updates there? It should be a really fun time, and stay cool.
Awesome. And go check out all our links in the show notes. Check out our splash pages stuff where you can see very cool stuff like Roy Thomas singing Jailhouse Rock and a bunch of awesome stuff.
You're really hyping that one up.
I am.
But that will nothing but hate so far.
Indeed. All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. I'll see you at Terrificon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excelsior!